Beneath the floor of a narrow canal on the outskirts of Berlin, a rusted bicycle lies still like a quiet sigh from the year 1990, a few meters away. A Walther pistol from 1945 rests beside anonymous fragments. Hidden footprints of a city shaped by war, reconstruction, and forgetting. These objects share a strange fate, abandoned by people, yet never truly gone. They simply wait for a force strong enough to pull them back to the surface. One day, a magnet fishing enthusiast lowers a palm-sized neodymium magnet into the water. No sonar, no GPS, no plan, only a magnetic field expanding silently like an invisible radar. When the magnet touches the mud, it begins to pull toward history itself, not through memory, but through a physical law older than any civilization. What draws millions to magnet fishing is not the promise of treasure, but the sensation of touching the past through a purely physical interaction. There is no curator, no academic explanation, only the intersection of attraction and memory. To understand why this practice feels so powerful, we must look at materials, the silent recorders of human history. If wood rots, paper decomposes, and fabric dissolves, iron and steel preserve their shapes across generations. In industrial history, steel is more than a material, it is a form of writing. Each structure, each alloy, each forging or casting standard leaves a distinctive signature of its era. A firearm produced in 1943 carries different ratios of carbon, manganese, and nickel than a version made in 1952. A bicycle from East Germany can be identified simply by the way its frame was welded. Standardization turns steel into a diary of humanity. When a metal object falls into water discarded, lost, or deliberately hidden, it does not disappear. It continues carrying the story of its time. Underwater mud acts like a natural archive. Little light, limited oxygen, minimal motion. Iron rusts but does not fully disintegrate, like a manuscript yellowed with age, yet still legible. In a deeper sense, magnet fishing is not merely a hobby of retrieving old objects. It is a way for ordinary people to encounter underwater material culture. Every item pulled from the water becomes a line in a diary written in metal, but to retrieve them requires a paradoxical technology. The neodymium magnet. Neodymium magnets are crystallized contradictions, small and lightweight, yet capable of lifting hundreds of kilograms underwater. Their strength comes not from magic but from the molecular structure of the Nd-Fe-B alloy. Within this material, unpaired electrons generate powerful magnetic moments. When crystallized in a tetragonal phase, these moments become locked into a preferred orientation, aligning the entire block's magnetism like a disciplined army. In other words, neodymium does not produce a strong field through size, but through internal order. The more ordered the material, the stronger the magnetic field. When submerged, the field is not absorbed by H2O molecules. Because water is diamagnetic, it responds with only a faint step aside, unable to block magnetism the way strongly magnetic materials can. As a result, even when surrounded by mud, water, and debris, the magnetic field penetrates as if the environment were invisible. When it encounters steel itself composed of particles capable of magnetic alignment, the field grips it as if two historical narratives suddenly connect. The true wonder lies in this. Humans do not need to see an object to influence it. They open a silent physical connection to the past through an invisible yet unwavering force. Yet retrieving memory from beneath the surface is not only about materials, it forces society to confront things it once chose to forget. Magnet fishing is not archaeology. There are no formal procedures, no mapped zones, no probability forecasts. It resembles a democratized ritual of memory, where anyone can cast a rope into the water and pull up a fragment of history. This randomness creates its allure. You never know what you will find, and every discovery becomes a narrative. Magnet fishing videos spread across the internet not because the objects are beautiful or valuable, but because of the unexpected stories they unlock, an old lock from a forgotten century, A tool lost from a construction site. Or a wartime relic its owner never intended anyone to see again. Once lifted, these items leave their ownerless state and re-enter the flow of life. The phenomenon resembles a community-built historical map. Each person retrieves a piece, and each piece tells part of a larger story. No historian directs it, yet a distributed network of memory emerges. Magnet fishing allows history to be felt directly through force, through weight, through the vibration in a rope when the past responds. But some objects should perhaps have remained undisturbed, forcing us to confront the darker side of memory. Among magnet fishing finds are not only souvenirs but dangerous legacies: loaded firearms, wartime daggers, even unexploded ordnance. When such items rise through the water like echoes of history calling back, people realize that memory is not always harmless. Some stories belong in shadow, not because they lack importance, but because their return at the wrong time can be dangerous. This reality places magnet fishing at the intersection of exploration and civic responsibility. Many countries have introduced regulations. What you retrieve does not always belong to you. Sometimes it belongs to the police, a museum, or to a past society is still trying to heal from. Yet despite the complexity, people continue lowering magnets into the water as if the act satisfies a deeper human need, the desire to connect with history not through books, but through touch. When a piece of metal emerges from the surface, covered in mud, rust, and time, it appears as a quiet reminder. What we discard never truly disappears. It simply waits for a force strong enough to pull it back.